Hi, welcome to Ask Eddie. The Spanish style of playing, the sound that you saw on the previous Ask Eddie Guitar Tips 5, is very simple. It simply uses the chords of E, F and G. The individual notes between the chords are done on open string, 1st fret and 3rd fret, on mainly the 6th and 1st string, but you can use any of the strings so long as you use the 1st fret, 3rd fret and open string. You'll find that you also form a chord and play the 4th, 3rd and 2nd string consecutively, one after the other, while forming the chord, and then change chords and do the same again on the next chord. That gives you the other pattern that's on there. And you can also use the full chords E, F and G, but you don't use the old-fashioned G chord. You use a chord the same shape as F, which is on the 1st fret, and just move to the 3rd fret, and that will give you a G major chord, which you can then do it. You can do it with, I was doing it there with a pick, but you can use finger picking as well. There is a technique the Spanish use called brush strokes. I'll try and demonstrate to you. You run your finger, one finger after the other, and you change the chord. And the single notes you do open, 1st, 3rd, 1st, open, and then go to the bass E string, and then go to a chord of E, okay, right, that's the Status Quo sound. That still uses basically 3 chords, although there's actually 6 or more chords used, but they're all formed around these 3 chords, which are E, A and B. Only you don't do B like you probably, a lot of people do. You do B, the same chord pattern as F, only on the 7th fret. Here we are following the dots again. You see, you have the open string, the 5th and the 7th. Most of the technique is done with the right hand, which is tempo, the effect that Status Quo get. But they also switch from E to A6. A6 is simply all 4 strings stopped at the 2nd fret. That's the 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th string. So you just roll your hand across to stop them, and you get that sound, this effect. You're just actually using the 3rd finger and the 2nd finger to stop all 5 strings. The other thing is the right hand, that's the pattern of the right hand gives it a different. And if you listen to some of the, we go, different patterns for different songs, but using the same basic chords. The thing at the end on there, if you form an E string and use your little finger to play on the 6th and 5th string, the 1st and 2nd strings, on the 3rd fret, so you go 2nd fret, 3rd fret, and if you can the 4th fret, and then on the 2nd. It's very difficult to show you with a webcam, the fingering, but it's simply moving the little finger. Just experiment with your little finger at any fret that you can reach with your little finger while still forming the E chord. And you then move to the A chord and do the same thing. If you've got a slim electric guitar and you haven't got arthritis, you should be able to do this quite easily. If you can form those chords, and then the B, of course, which is on the 7th. Just move your little finger around to practically anywhere that you can get your little finger to will sound alright, but you'll find out more by experimenting. When I first learned to play in the 50s, you knew nothing about this. You learnt this yourself just by fooling around and trying different things, and that's how we discovered them. Some of the things that are done today I discovered myself back in 1956. I used to be in a group, and different group guitarists in different groups would pass information back and forth. We'd go to watch each other play, and they'd tell you something and you tell them something, and that's how the word got spread around in those days. A lot of the stuff was so simple that I could never work it out because because it was so easy. A lot of rock and roll was only one note. So it sounds much more complicated than what it actually is. It's mainly right hand work, the tempo, see? Just one note, and you can make it by up picking or down picking. So if you do that, the open string on the 1st string, the 5th on the 1st string, and the 7th on the 1st string, so you get and with an electric guitar with echo chamber and all the effects that you can get, distortion is quite easy. Just overload the amplifier, turn the volume up to max on your guitar, and you can also get quite a good effect of feedback by putting, if you've got an electric guitar going too near the speaker, you get what we call feedback. What happens is the note comes out the speaker into the guitar, out of the guitar back into the amplifier, and then gets amplified again and again and again till it gets so high. If you've got a thing called a copycat, an echo chamber, I don't know if you ever heard the song Telstar, but the space effects that you get at the beginning of the Telstar is just simply done by turning up an echo chamber so it overloads itself, and it keeps feeding back and echoing and echoing, and you get that weird space effect sound. Anyway, I hope these things will have helped you, and you've got quite a bit to get on with practicing there. So goodbye.